I know it sounds crazy, but for me, Brazil are the favorites for the World Cup. And it's because of this one man, Carlo Ancelotti. It is because of him. It's kind of wild to say that one guy can change the trajectory of a whole country in terms of their chance of winning the World Cup. But for me, Carlo Ancelotti does that. He's not Brazilian. He's not a Brazilian coach, which is kind of odd because growing up, all I saw with Brazil is them having a Brazilian coach. They never got a foreign coach ever, but now they have Carlo Ancelotti, a 5-time Champions League winner, a tactical master, the man who has coached the greatest players of 3 generations. And now he's heading to the biggest job in international football and probably one of his toughest challenges, to be honest. Everton was a tough challenge, but this one might top it. We look at the past few years and past few cycles of Brazil, all we've seen is struggle, to be honest. But the fact is, none of these young players have really thrived. Vinicius Jr, who's one of my favorite players, and as a Real Madrid fan, you have to be objective and you have to be honest. Vinicius Jr has not performed for Brazil. For a guy we call the next Neymar, he hasn't really taken that role, and he hasn't been the next Neymar in terms of international pedigree. For Brazil, he only has 6 goals, which is diabolical. For a guy who's been a superstar for the past 3 to 4 years, for him to only have 6 goals for Brazil, it's not great. It's not great. But this is why I believe Carlo Ancelotti will get the best out of Vinicius Jr. I think the best Vinicius Jr. we have seen for Brazil was in that World Cup in Qatar, which I thought Vinicius was actually very good in that World Cup. But since then, I don't think we've seen an iconic Vinicius performance since. In the Copa America, he had this one good performance, I believe against Colombia if I'm not wrong. But other than that, Vinicius has had no iconic moments with Brazil. When Neymar in that age, he was incredible for Brazil. He was doing everything. But I think Carlo will give him the freedom, just like how he did in Real Madrid, to be that guy, to do anything he wants, to dribble, to create chances. I believe he will let Vinicius be that guy. And also, he will help Rodrigo a lot as well. Help Endrick, who he already knows a lot about. And work with new players like Rafinha, Bruno Guimaraes. The list can go on and on. I wonder how he's going to implement Neymar in this system as well. He's the type of coach that when Neymar gets healthy, he's going to put him back into the lineup. And we're going to have this great attacking flow football that Brazil has been desperately missing. And from what I've heard, Ancelotti wants to put Neymar into the system. He wants Neymar to be involved in this Brazilian team. I think Ancelotti's system is actually perfect for Neymar. And we also see a lot of times in La Liga or just the league competitions, Ancelotti isn't really the best when it comes to league competitions because players start to tire out by the end of the season and we get a lot of injuries. I remember the 2015 season with him. We could have won that league, but players started to tire out in the end of the season because he overused them. But in tournament like the World Cup, there's no really worry for that. But that's the point I'm making. In club competitions and tournaments in general, Carlo Ancelotti is the perfect guy. We've seen the last 2 Champions Leagues he won. I mean, the comebacks, the in-game decisions, the tactical decisions. Carlo Ancelotti is perfect for tournament-style football. I'm really excited to see how he's going to fare in the World Cup and how some of the decisions will be and the football he will have Brazil play, because I generally believe he will get the best out of these Brazilian players. I believe he's going to play a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, one of those two, but I believe if Neymar is back, a 4-2-3-1 would be perfect for this team. A lot of the Brazil collapses we see is because of pressure. I don't think Brazil loses the World Cups because of talent, to be honest. I don't think that's a reason. They lose because of the pressure. The pressure is so big in Brazil on them. In 2014, you saw one of the biggest collapses in football history, the 7-1 against Germany. 2022, against Croatia, they legit froze. In extra time, they didn't know what to do. They gave Croatia the game and they won on penalties. But when it comes to Ancelotti, this is a guy who does not panic. He's very calm. Again, we saw what he did with Real Madrid, the comebacks after comebacks. He's a mentality monster, that's for sure. And I think his calm demeanor will help Brazil when it comes to these big situations. Because he's so calm, trust me, the players will be calm as well. I think that's a huge factor in why Ancelotti is such a good coach. He's not like other coaches. He's very calm and he trusts his players. He trusts them. And then when you look at this first squad Carlo Ancelotti has presented for the World Cup qualifiers, honestly, I don't have much complaints. This is a great squad, and the biggest factor is him bringing back Casemiro, who hasn't been in the national setup for 2 years. Casemiro is not the same. He is not the same player as a few years ago, but I don't see why he can't be good in this Brazil team. We saw Man United this season as well. He played the Europa League final. He was probably the best player in the Europa League final. He has moments. He still has moments in him, and in a short tournament like the World Cup, he can for sure thrive. And it's something that midfield needs. I think the midfield in Brazil has been particularly weak over the last few, World Cup qualification campaigns or just the World Cup, the Copa America. It has been weak. It has been weak for sure. I mean, in midfield, they were depending on a guy like João Gomes to really help that midfield, and he's a good player. He's a decent player, but I don't know if he's starting quality for Brazil. He's a good bench player maybe, but to start, I don't know about João Gomes. So I think in that midfield, if you can pair up maybe Guimaraes with Casemiro. Casemiro is very good technically as well, I would say. If you could pair up those two, it might be a nice match. We might see Carlo do that, or someone new that he's called up is André Santos, who has been incredible for Strasbourg. He's a Chelsea loanee and he's probably going to go back. He's probably been the top 3 midfielders in the league on this season. He was very good last season in the second half of the season, and he's been incredible this whole season in 2025. 11 goals and 4 assists in all competitions. He can be a great DM, but he can also be a great box-to-box midfielder. He has great tenacity. He can win tackles, but also going up, very good at crashing the box. So yeah, Carlo has shown that he can have a nice presence around young talent. I think a guy as talented as Andre Santos, he could bring the best out of him for sure. The defense is still lacking a lot for Brazil. It's still lacking. Carlos Augusto is actually a guy who will help a lot. He's been very good for Inter. I think on the left side, he could be very good for Brazil as well. Alexandro has been incredible for Lille. You got Marquinhos, who's a regular. You got Beraldo, who's been pretty good for PSG sometimes, coming off the bench. In attack, I'm interested in what he's going to do with a guy like Estevao, a guy like Antony, 2 right wingers. Antony has been on incredible form, and Estevao, who's been one of the best players in Brazil. It's going to be a very interesting watch to see what Carlo does. I've criticized him a lot, obviously, for Real Madrid, but for Brazil and on the international stage, I think he will do big works. And for me, if they can get Neymar back, if they can get Militao back to himself, this Brazil team is a threat. This Brazil team is a threat for sure for years to come. Even Rodrigo's not in the squad. Imagine Rodrigo comes back from injury. This team will look dangerous under Carlo Ancelotti. I will let you guys know firsthand. This team will be dangerous under Carlo Ancelotti. Let me know in the comments below if you guys believe Brazil can win the World Cup. For me, I believe they can win the World Cup. To me, they're favorites just based off this appointment. Carlo Ancelotti will transform this Brazil team into a threat. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm going to put my hands up. I'm going to say I was wrong. Carlo Ancelotti flopped. I'm the worst football predictor. I will say all those things, but I genuinely believe Ancelotti will take this Brazil team on a deep run. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Like and subscribe for daily content, and peace out.